Students, today we have to move for the next continuation part in the lesson, chemical reactions and their equation. Yesterday I told you about the exothermic and endothermic reaction. Exothermic and endothermic. Exothermic means the reaction in which the energy is released. Okay, so that is called the exothermic. Endothermic means the reaction, which reaction is utilized the energy, lot of energy for the reaction to take place. That is called endothermic reaction. Which reaction is utilize the energy, that is called endothermic reaction. Which reaction release the energy, lot of energy, that is called as exothermic reaction. I think you know about that, right? Okay, so now so we have to take that why the respiration reaction is called as the exothermic reaction. Keep in mind, the respiration reaction is called as what? Exothermic reaction. Why the respiration reaction is called as the exothermic reaction? Because during respiration, I think you know about that, the digestion, in the digestion process, the glucose has liberated, that is shortly known as C6H12O6. It is a formula for glucose actually. So that glucose has combines with oxygen and release a lot of energy. It releases a lot of energy. So that's why it releases when the glucose, oxidation of the glucose, this process, if a glucose is combined with the oxygen, I think you know about that, during the respiration we are inhaling the oxygen and releasing the carbon dioxide, right? Okay, so by that time, that what we are inhaling the oxygen, that oxygen is mixed with the glucose, and release lot of energy to the body to do our work. We want to get energy, no? So that is we are getting by the respiration process. Clear? So that's why the respiration is called as the exothermic reaction. Keep that thing in a mind. Why the respiration is called the exothermic reaction? Because during the oxidation of the glucose, it releases a lot of energy, so the respiration is called as the exothermic reaction. In the same way, I think you know about the decomposition of vegetable matter. Decomposition of vegetable matter. Vegetable matter in the sense ಕೊಳೆತಂತಹ ತರಕಾರಿಗಳು. Okay, ಕೊಳೆಯುವಂತಹ ತರಕಾರಿಗಳು. Decomposition means ಕೊಳೆಯೋದು. Okay, so this decomposition of vegetable matter is called as exothermic, as well as it is also called as endothermic. Clear? Decomposition of vegetable matter is called as both, I mean exothermic as well as the endothermic. Why it should be called as exothermic and endothermic? Because so the decomposition of vegetable matter, so it releases a lot of energy in the form of compost after decomposing or decaying. ಕೊಳೆತಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ it releases a lot of energy in the form of what? Compost. Compost in the sense ಗೊಬ್ಬರ. I think you know about that. Clear? So that's why decomposition of vegetable matter is called as the exothermic reaction. And for the decomposition only, the decomposition reaction has takes place now. So for that decomposition, it utilizes a lot of energy. For that reaction, I mean after decomposition, it releases a lot of energy in the form of compost. That's why it is called as a exothermic. To made into compost, to prepare the compost, this vegetable matter at the time of decomposition reaction using a lot of energy, that's why it is called as the endothermic reaction. Keep that thing in mind. Okay, so that's why decomposition of vegetable matter is called as a exothermic, as well as it is called as a endothermic reaction. Okay, so next we have to move for the corrosion and rancidity, other reaction, corrosion and rancidity. So what is mean by corrosion actually? Corrosion is the process where the metals are deteriorate. Deteriorate means ತುಕ್ಕುಡಿಯೋದು, rusting. Okay, deteriorate. Corrosion is the process where the metals are deteriorate. Deteriorate means rusting. Okay, spoil. metals are rusting, okay, or spoiling. That is called as the corrosion. Corrosion means, corrosion is a process where the metals are deteriorate. That is called as the corrosion. Good example, rusting of iron for the corrosion, okay. And what is rancidity? Rancidity means the reaction in which fatty foods, particularly fatty food in the sense butter, ghee, or anything is prepared by using oil like bhaji, bonda, or anything, okay, or sweets also, okay. So those are all called as what? Fatty food, because they are prepared by the butter or ghee, okay. So fatty food, they are produce the foul smell. Foul means bad smell. Foul smell means what? Bad. Keep in your mind. Foul means what? Bad, okay. I think when you smell that after 3-4 days, if you are keeping in your home, they are that produce the foul smell, very bad smell. That is called as the rancidity. Clear? So what is that rancidity? Rancidity in the sense the fatty food items produce the foul smell. That is called as the rancidity. The process of producing the foul smell by the fatty food is called as the rancidity. Good example, the spoiling of butter, ghee, or any food items made with the oils, okay. There are sweets. Those are all the example for what? Rancidity. So how can we prevent this corrosion and rancidity actually? So for this there is a method. How can we prevent the corrosion and rancidity? So this corrosion, I mean rusting of iron or metals, can be prevented by one method, that is called as painting. Painting can be prevented by the 3 methods, that is painting, and the galvanization and anodization. Galvanization and anodization. These are the 3 methods to prevent the corrosion. Keep in mind. So which are those? How can we prevent the rusting or corrosion or deteriorating of metal? That is through the painting. I mean, if you paint the article, metal article, so the rusting will avoid. And what is mean by galvanization and anodization here? The galvanization means actually applying the thin zinc coat to the metal article. Zinc coating to the metal article. That is called as the galvanization, okay. The process by which the applying of thin coating layer to the metal article to prevent the rusting, that is called as the galvanization. Keep in mind, okay. That is also known as a plating, okay. So applying the zinc thin coating to the metal article, that is called as the galvanization. And what is anodization? Anodization in the sense you know about that. That is the electroplating. That is the method of electroplating. Brief information is there in a metal lessons for you, but just you have to get to know about that. So what is mean by electroplating means which metal we want to coat actually. So that metal we have taken as anode, okay, anode, and from which metal we are coating, that is taken as cathode. If you want to coat the iron article by Cu, so Fe has taken as anode and Cu has taken as negative in the sense cathode. So that should be those 2 metals or metallic rod are placed in a electrolytic chamber. This is the electrolytic chamber actually. So if you pass the electric current to this electrolytic chamber, so then the cathode ions, I mean what are the copper ions are there, they are attracted towards the ferrous and deposited and form a one thin layer on the ferrous. This is a copper, okay. So inside there will be the ferrous. Ferrous means kabida, okay. So but outside we can see the copper coating. That is called as anodization. Anodization means the process by plating the metal article, plating in the sense coating the metal article by exchanging their ions, that is called as the anodization. Very important. What is mean by anodization? Galvanization. And how can we prevent the corrosion? That is also very important, okay. Once again I'll repeat again. Corrosion means the process by which where the metals are deteriorated. Deteriorated means spoil, rusting, everything, anything we can use. That is called as the corrosion. There are the three methods to prevent the corrosion. One is called painting. How we are painting the articles and everything, yearly once or half yearly once or 2 year once. That is the painting. I think you know about that. I mean, in front of your house gate and everything is painted to avoid the rusting. And galvanization. Galvanization means applying the zinc coat, because zinc is not react to the atmospheric air. Okay, so that's why zinc only is used, not the other metals. Okay, zinc not react to the atmospheric air as usual it will. So it will be there. So if you apply one coat, a zinc coat to the article, iron article, so it will be, it's not rusted. Okay. Then next thing is anodization. Anodization means electroplating. Okay, I mean the thing or the metal should be plated with the other metal, anyone we can use. Okay, so that is other metal to avoid the rusting or to avoid the spoiling. That is called as the anodization. Keep in mind, anodization means the process by which the ions are exchanged, okay, to plating themselves. That is called as the anodization. Process of applying the zinc coating to the article, galvanization. Okay. Yes, next we have to know about that how can we prevent the rancidity. This rancidity can be prevented by the proper packing. I think you know about that nowadays. The food and everything is packed with the aluminium foil. So one more reason for the aluminium foil in the sense the aluminium halegalu. Foil means hale. Okay, why the food should be packed with aluminium foil? Because to prevent this rancidity only. Rancidity and also to keep the food items to heat, that is also used. Okay, so if you pack it properly by using the aluminium foil or with a wet container, then we can prevent the rancidity. Okay, then we can prevent the rancidity. Keep in mind, very important question, what is corrosion and rancidity, how can we prevent it? Rancidity means, I'll repeat again the rancidity. Rancidity means the process by which the food items or fatty food items or produce the foul smell, that is called the rancidity. Okay, good example for this, foul smell of butter, ghee or fatty items or oily items, anything we can give. So how can we prevent it? So that rancidity can be prevented by the proper packing, These are the methods of prevention of corrosion and the rancidity. Yes, what are the effects of oxidation and reduction? Yesterday I told you these two are very important, oxidation and reduction also. Oxidation and reduction, these are also the kinds of equation, chemical equation. Oxidation in the sense I told you already, the gain of oxygen and loss of hydrogen is called the oxidation. The process by which the loss of oxygen and gain of hydrogen, loss of oxygen and gain of hydrogen is called as the reduction. Anyone we can write. Okay, here gain of oxygen, that is called the oxidation. Here loss of oxygen is called the reduction, or in other way, the process by which the loss of hydrogen is called the oxidation, gain of hydrogen is called the reduction. Anyone we can write. So what are the effects of these oxidation and reduction in the daily life? If you know that is the damage of car body, bridges. I think you know about that. If you stand the car body outside, okay, so it will get damaged after the many days. Car body, railway track or the bridge, etc. And the foul smell of this fatty food also is one of the effects of oxidation. So these are the examples, daily examples what we are seeing. So are the effects of oxidation and reduction, or what we are seeing in our daily life. One is the damage of car body, bridges, railway track, etc. or the foul smell of fatty food. These are the examples for what? Oxidation and reduction. Okay. And one more thing, before burning, magnesium is very important metal which is catched the fire easily. Yesterday only I told you burning, for the burning process oxygen is required. As when magnesium is underwent for burning or a combustion process, that forms the magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide. Is it balanced? Check once whether it is balanced or not. So that is Mg. Mg is balanced, but oxygen has not balanced. So that's why you have to put 2 here. So now oxygen has balanced, but Mg is not balanced. You have to put 2 here also. Now both are balanced, right? Okay. So this magnesium should be cleaned. First, this magnesium should be cleaned before burning, because to remove the layer of this magnesium oxide, because it is spontaneously reacts with the oxygen and form one layer, that is called the magnesium oxide. Okay, so that's why before burning in a air, already it is from the magnesium oxide, not realistically it is not a magnesium. So that's why while burning in a air, magnesium oxide should be cleaned. First it should be thoroughly cleaned. Okay, why? To remove the layer of magnesium oxide only. That thing you have to keep in mind. Next, even copper sulfate solution. When a zinc is reacts with a copper sulfate solution, so it's formed the blue color. Actually, when zinc reacts with copper sulfate solution, Cu is formed. So it's form a blue color vitriol. It's called as the blue color. That is a blue color copper sulfate solution. What happen? You can guess here. Displacement reaction which takes place. I mean zinc changed its place. That forms a zinc sulfate plus copper will be separated. Okay, so this sulfate solution is in a what a blue color sulfate. It is faded actually. Always copper sulfate solution is in blue color, so it should be faded. Faded means tili agutte. Why? Because due to underwent for the displacement reaction. I mean copper has removed, no? So copper only gives the blue color for the solution. So that's why it is faded. Faded means tili agutte. So that's why copper sulfate solution, blue color copper sulfate solution is faded. Why? Because zinc and the copper sulfate underwent for the which reaction? Displacement reaction. That thing you have to keep in your mind. Okay. And even washing, I think you know about that in a villages and everything. Calcium hydroxide, sunnada tili neerana use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸುಣ್ಣವನ್ನ ಹೊಡಿತಾರೆ. I think you know about that. Even till today in a villages they are using. So after painting with that calcium hydroxide, ಸುಣ್ಣದ ತಿಳಿ ನೀರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, calcium hydroxides. Okay, CaOH twice. It is called as CaOH twice. So why it's give a shiny color after 1 hour like that, if you are seeing, but while painting it's not look like a shiny. After painting, after dry up, it's become very shiny finish it's give to the wall, right? Why? It should be calcium hydroxide that reacts with the carbon dioxide present in a air. Carbon dioxide present in a air. Okay, that forms a calcium carbonate plus H2O. This calcium carbonate, what is that? This give a shiny finish to the wall. Even in the city also you can see a newly building is painted with the Lovelism like that, right? Okay, so after painting it's look like a very shiny, that is okay, because it forms this calcium hydroxide. What is that? Sunnada tili neeru. Calcium hydroxide is called as the sunnada tili neeru. Okay, keep in mind. So that has reacts with the carbon dioxide. Where is this carbon dioxide? It is in our air. That forms calcium carbonate plus water. Okay, so this calcium carbonate what is formed, so that gives the shiny finish to the wall. That thing you have to keep in mind. Next electrolysis process is that tomorrow I'll explain you that. Till that, keep watching. Thank you all.